Configuring application restrictions. User requires apps for every task that they perform on their computer, such as editing documents, querying database, and generating reports. So consequently, you must develop a strategy for developing and managing the apps that your organization's users will run on their new Windows 10 computer and devices. So whatever the users do, they do with the job, with the applications. So whatever they want to create data, edit data or whatever, they have to use some kind of applications. So we have to make a proper strategy for developing and managing the apps. So first, types of Windows apps. Now Windows 10 apps fall into 5 different categories: desktop apps, Windows Store apps, Universal Windows Platform apps, remote apps, and app V apps. First, desktop applications. Desktop app installation is performed by using .exe or .msi installer files. This can be automated and can be replaced by the distributed app installation and execution methods in larger environment. So this is desktop app because we see these apps on desktop. That is why it is called desktop apps. That means these apps which we are not able to use in mobile or tablet devices. These apps which only works in this desktop machines. And for installing these apps, we have to use .exe files or .msi. .msi is Microsoft installer. So it is proprietary file for Microsoft. Now we can also make it automated installation, and we can also make it by the distribution of server. Like we can create a software distribution server in a large domain environment. So if you are having a domain environment where we want to install application to multiple machines, hundreds of machines, then we can use software development deployment server, and we can deploy all the applications from there. Then we have Windows Store apps. These runs on Windows 8 and later. These apps is not available before Windows 8. Before Windows 8, that means in Windows 7 and Windows Vista, Windows XP, it is not available. It is only available since Windows 8. That means Windows 8 and now Windows 10. And can be installed from the Windows Store or side loaded. So we can install these apps from Windows Store, and that is why it is called Windows Store apps. Windows Store is like we use in mobile, Android mobile, we use Google Play Store. So it is like that, where you will find all the different applications which you can install from there. And also you have to create an account for the installation. You have to use Microsoft account, otherwise you are not able to install any app from there. And Universal Windows apps. These can install on multiple hardware platforms. That means it can support for desktop and tablet and handheld devices, mobile devices. And these apps you will get only from Windows Store. And desktop app converter in preview. This is in preview. Can convert desktop apps into universal apps. That means in some kind of desktop application can be converted into universal apps, but that is the desktop app converter app with the help of this desktop app converter, but it is in preview. It is in preview version, so it is not sure that it will do for the all application. Then we also have remote apps. This enables apps to run remotely but display locally, and enable apps to run on client that do not meet app hardware requirement. These kind of app used in thin client environment. Now thin client environment is like the clients are thin and servers are fat. That means the client machine does not have enough hardware to run those applications, and the centralized server has a hardware to support those kind of applications. So what we do, we create remote application from the server, and that will run on client machine. It actually runs on server, but it displays on the client machine. So it look like it is running on the client machine, but it actually the all processing task it is doing on server machine. So we don't have to have the large amount of hardware in client machine. Then app vapps, these apps are streamed to desktop and enable multiple versions of app to run without conflict. So these apps are also like remote app, but this is virtual app, and these apps are streamed into the desktop, and it can do what multiple versions of app to run without any conflict. And for this, that means again it will run on server and it will show up in the client machine. Now, managing app startup. Many apps have components that run in the background, and some of these components load during computer startup. So it is important to know which app imposes the greatest load on your Windows 10 computer, and to know how you can control app startup behavior. Perhaps the easiest way to view those apps that load component during the system started is to use the task manager. And if you click the startup tab, you see that Windows has assessed each background apps for its impact on startup, and startup impact is reported as one of the following items like none, low, medium and high. So these apps, some apps when you start the computer, the apps will also start with that computer, and if suppose large amount of applications are starting at the startup of our Windows 10, then it can make our Windows slow. So our Windows will start very slow because of the load it will put on the on Windows 10. Now Windows 10 is assessed that load as this none, that means it is not putting any load, low load, medium load or high load. Now it is up to us that which application we want to start with the operating system. Like when we start the Windows, so which application we want to start. If you don't want to start that some application, then we can disable them. So if you want to disable, if you want to control the startup behavior of an app, so we'll do what? We'll right click the app and then click disable. This prevents the app from running at startup. So our machine will start quickly. I will show you this. We can check this in Task Manager. So in our Windows 10, we can check into the Task Manager. Task Manager we can open by right clicking on the taskbar, and here we can run from here we can choose Task Manager. Now when you first time open the Task Manager, it looks like this. It is not showing much information. It shows actually running task. Now right now there is no task running, so it is not showing anything. For example, if I run this control panel, so it is not an application, it is actually Explorer. I should have run some application. So it shows that application here. So it shows all running applications here in the Task Manager, but first time it looks like this, and to see more options, we have to click this more detail. So when we click this more detail, now it will show you in full detail. Now it is also showing those process which is running in background and the process which is running in foreground, that is our Task Manager itself. Now it is having different tabs, but here it has this startup tab. So when I go to startup, it shows all those applications which starts with our Windows 10, and this is like Cortana, Microsoft OneDrive, Skype, VMware Tools, Windows Security Notification. These are the publishers of those applications. We can even see the publisher to verify that the application is from proper source. Then here it is showing the status of the current application. This one is disabled, this one is enabled, disable, enable, enable, enable. Now here it put the startup impact, how much impact it is going to put on our startup. Now right now in this machine there is no application is there which is putting some load here. So this one is it is not putting any impact because it is right now disabled. This one has not been measured till now, and these ones are also not been measured till now, but it is going to be measured because they are enabled. So when we start these applications, so these applications I have not been started, so it is not been measured till now. When I start the application, then it will measure the impact of those applications. So these are enabled, and you can see the impact here, like none, low, high or medium. Now if suppose you see some application is enabled, that means it is starting when we start our Windows, and also it is putting lots of load in your system, like it is high, status impact is high, and you just don't want that application to start. Then we can do what? We can right click on it, and then we can click on disable, and then it will be disabled. So it will not be start when our Windows 10 will start. So by this way we can manage the startup application. So by this way we can manage our startup application. Also you can disable, and also you can open the file location. If suppose you don't know what kind of application it is, you are not understanding, or suppose you are not identifying the application, then you can check the location of the file, and if you think that this is suspicious, then you can delete it also. You can search about that application online also, and also you can check the properties of that application here, that exe file. You can also select and disable from here. So this is what startup application, and this is how we can manage these startup applications. Now what is the Windows Store? So the Windows Store is an online store that provides a convenient single location for users to access and download apps. Users can access the Windows Store from start without navigating to control panel, and user must sign in with the Microsoft account to download the apps. Apps updates are installed automatically by default. So this is the Windows Store app, where you can download multiple different apps from the Windows Store. But for downloading any app from here, you have to log in with the Microsoft account. You can compare it with your Windows, your Android machines, your Google Play Store in Android mobiles. So same as this, you have to log in with your account, Microsoft account here. Then you can download multiple applications. There are free applications, and there are some applications which is paid. So there are games, there are applications, there are tools, there are lots of things are there. So we can download all those things which is available, but first we have to log in with our Microsoft account. So I will show you this in our machine, and for using Windows Store you need internet connection, because it is going to download it from internet. So you can get the Windows Store directly from taskbar. By default there is a link there, it is pinned here. Otherwise you can click on start. You don't have to go to control panel, and directly here in the tiles you will see the store app. So when you open this, it is trying to connect to internet, and this is our Windows Store app. Now here you can see different applications. You have home, this is the home page. Then you have, if you want gamings, then you can go to gamings, and you will see all these different games which you can download. You can see some of them are free, and some of them need some charges, like this one is need some charges, and these are also some charges there. So some of the games are free, some of the games are not free. You can go to check the entertainment things. So different applications we have. Then productivity, These are productivity applications. Then you can have also deals, some offers and all that. Now if you want to find some application, then you can search it from here. Like I want to have VLC player. So I searched for VLC and it is searching it. So this is VLC player and it is free. So if I want to install it, so I will click on get. These are the information about it. This is saying that VLC is the ultimate media player ported to the Windows Universal Platform. Now this one is Universal Platform, that means it is the Windows Universal Platform app, this VLC, because previously it was only for the desktop, but now it is converted into Universal app. That means it can be used on the desktop machine and also we can use it on tablet mobile devices also. As you can see here, that available on these different multiple devices, because now it is Universal app. It is not only the desktop app. You can see the description here, you can see the screenshot, you can also see that other applications similar to this. You can check system requirement, that whether your machine is requiring, your machine is fulfilling the requirement minimum or recommended. Then you can check reviews also, and you can also check related. Now if we want to install this application, then what we need is to get the Microsoft account. So if I click on get, it says use across your devices, sign in with Microsoft and use this on any compatible device. Now it says that you have to sign in to use this device, use this application on multiple different devices. If I say no thanks, so it is also giving me option and it is now installing also. So it says that if you have an account, then you can use the same application. That means you don't have to again install the same application on these different devices. So you can use, when you log in with your account on these devices, your mobile devices, then you will see the same application there. If you log into your PC, then again you will see the same application, and that is the reason it says that you have to make an account for it. Now if you want to make an account, then you will go to this sign in option, and here you can sign in with your Microsoft account. Now once you sign in with your Microsoft account, that means you're signing in your Windows 10. It is like you're signing in your Windows 10. So then it will be used, that means now then after signing it will be used for your logging also. So when you want to log into this machine, then also it will use the same account to log in. And now it is going to be installed. And when you go to here, it is installed and available. You can go to download and updates to check the updates of different applications. You can see these are the different applications we have, and these are showing that these are modified last time, like this date it was modified. And if you have some update available, then it will show here that some applications need to be updated. You have installed app, you have all owned apps, that means you have just selected the app but it is not installed. So you can check all the owned apps also. You can see ready to install, you can see the downloads when it is downloading. These are owned apps, but I have not installed all of them. This one I have installed, but this one I was not installed, so it is giving me option to install also. Then downloads, it will show up here. So if any application is downloading or updates is downloading, then you will see here. And included with devices, that means those applications which is included with devices, it is not here because this device does not have any included application from domain. So this is our Windows Store app. Now next is software restriction policies, SRP. This software restriction policy is group policy based feature that identifies the software programs running on computers in a domain and control the ability of those programs to run. You use software restriction policies to create a highly restricted configuration for computers in which you allow only specifically identified application to run. And these are integrated with Microsoft Active Directory domain services and group policy, but can also be configured on standalone computers. So basically this software restriction policy is for the domain environment where you can control the applications on the domain. On the domain, that means if you are having 100 of machines in the domain, so you don't have to go to each and every machine to control the applications. We can control it from the domain controller, and from the domain controller we create the group policy object, and from there we can manage the restriction of group policies. But also we can do it for the standalone machine. If we are not having a domain, then we can also configure it in the workgroup environment, and we can configure it on the standalone computer. Now beginning with the Windows Server 2008 R2 and Windows 7, Windows App Locker can be used instead of or an concert with SRP, that is software restriction, for a portion of your application control strategy. And administrators can software restriction policies for the following tasks. So with the software restriction policy, now from Windows Server 2008 or Windows 7 we have App Locker also. We have our App Locker available, and from here we can do lots of or almost all the tasks which we do from the software restriction policy. The software restriction policies was available since Windows NT, but now we can also use App Locker. What is the different here? With the App Locker we can also control our universal apps, which was not we don't have the option for the universal app in the software restriction policy. Now what we can control here with this software restriction policy or App Locker, we can define what is trusted code. That means what code of the application is trusted. We can design a flexible group policy for regulating the scripts, executable files and ActiveX controls. Specify which software, that means executable file, can run on clients. We can set the scope of the software restriction policies, that is specify whether policies affect all users or subset of users on clients. So we can define it will apply on all the users or a specific users from the client. Then the features and functions of the software restriction policies. So first, scope. Scope means SRP policies can be applied to all Windows operating system, beginning with Windows XP and Windows Server 2003. So this is the scope. That means we can apply these policies in all the old versions of Windows, from Windows XP to 2000 Server 2003 till now. Then policy creation. Policy creation are the maintained through policy. We can maintain this through group policy, and only the administrator of the GPU can update the SRP policy, and the administrator on the local computer can modify the SRP policy defined in the local group policy object. So from the domain environment, the domain administrator is the only administrator who can manage and modify the security policy, software restriction policies. And for the local machine, the local administrator can manage it from the local group policy. Then file types that can be controlled by the SRP. So this software restriction policy can control the following file types, which is executables, that is exe file, MSI file, DLLs. DLLs are the dynamic link libraries files which needs to run some applications. So applications libraries are there, so it needs to run that. Then we can control the scripts, and it can be batch scripts, or we can say the PowerShell scripts. Then also Windows installers which we use to install the applications. Then SRP cannot control each file type separately. All SRP rules are in a single rule collection. That means we can't create only one rule for everything. For every application or every script files or DLL, we have to create a separate software restriction policy. Then rule types. So when we create the software restriction policy, so we have different rules. So SRP support 4 types of rules. First, hash rule. Then path rule, then signature rule, and internet zone rule. So hash rules, path rules, signature rule, and internet zone rule. Now path rule define the path of the application. That means we define the path, that in this path this application can be restricted, other applications will not be restricted. So whatever. Now path can be changed. If suppose the user changes the path, then application will start working. So for that we can apply the hash restriction. Now in hash restriction, what the SRP do, it will create the hash of that application which we want to restrict. Now the hash, that means it will create a unique value with using the hashing algorithm, and then it will restrict the application based on that hash. Now that means whenever you run the application, it will match the hash which is in the database of this SRP. So if the hash matches, then it will not run, it will restrict the application. If the hash does not match, and if suppose the hash match and it is allowed, then it will allow. So by this way, if the user changes the path, still it will apply, the SRP will apply if it changes the path also. Signature, that means every application has its own signature from the vendor, so we can define the signature of that application to restrict the application. Internet zone application restriction can be applied on the different zones of internet, like we have public zone, private zone, or domain zone. So we can define that in which zone this application can be restricted and which zone can be allowed. Now to create new software restriction policy. Now how we can create new software restriction policy? Now we can create it from the group policy object, or we can create it from the security options, security settings. So we can open the local security setting, or we can go from the group policy settings, but it will go at the same it will go to the same location. Let's see how we can create the policy. Now here we can block any application. So let's see which application I want to block. I will use a simple app. So what I will do here, I will go to C drive, and I will go to Windows and System32. I'm going to use a simple application, calculator. This is calculator application. So I am going to copy this, and I am going to copy it into C drive, and I will create new folder for it. Okay, now this is the application I have, .exe file, and it is located under this directory, apps. Now I can run it from here, and it is running. So it is running, that means this application is working. Now I want to restrict this application. So what I can do, I can do it from the group policy object. So if you're in the domain, then you can do it from the group policy object. For opening the group policy object, here it is no domain, so you can open the local group policy. gpedit.msc is the command. under Windows R, Windows Run. Now in the group policy object, we'll go to computer configuration, Windows settings, and under Windows settings we'll go to security settings. Now from here we have software restriction policy. Now the same thing we can go from directly security, local security policy, we can directly go from control panel. Control panel, under administrative tools, and we can directly open the local security policy, and from here we can go for software restriction policy, or we can open by using the shortcut command secpol.msc. When you type this, it will give you option to open this local security policy here. So again it is opening the local security policy. Now this is what opening the local security policy from different ways, but what we will configure here is the software restriction policy. Now when you go to software restriction policy, so first time it will say here that no software restriction policy is defined. So by default there is no policy defined. Now it says software restriction policies are defined in this group policy object, and if you define software restriction policy in this group policy object, they will override inherited policies settings from other group policy object. So if you are having in the domain environment, so in the domain environment we can have multiple group policies, and the group policies can override by the inheritance. So right now we are not in the domain environment, this is our local policies, so there is no chances of overridden here. So to define the restriction policy, in the action menu click on the new software restriction policy, and note, after initially creating software restriction policy, a reboot is required before they will be enforced. So after creating the policy first time, you have to reboot your system. Now for creating the new policy, we have to create it from action, new software restriction policy, or we can directly right click on this folder and we can create software restriction policy. Now when you create new software restriction policy, it will create these objects. So where you have security levels, additional rules, enforcement, designated file types, and trusted publishers. So first, if you see security levels, you have these three levels of security. First, disallowed. Now in this disallowed, software will not run regardless of the access right of the user. User have access or not, the software will not run if we say disallowed. Basic user, when we set the level to basic user, then it will allows the program to execute as a user that does not have administrator access right, but can still access resources accessible by normal user. So when you use the basic user, the user can run the application, it does not require the administrative privileges, but the other files will still need to be accessible by the normal user account. So if the administrator permission required there, then it will need that application permission. Basically it is what allowing you. Then unrestricted means software access rights are determined by the access rights of the user. Now simply if the user has permission on the file, then it can run, and if it is not having a permission, it cannot run. These are the security levels. Then when we check the additional rules, so here we can create our rules. Right now there is 2 by default rules. Now when we create the security policy, before it was not there, but right now it is there. Now when we create it, then it create by default these 2 policies, and these policies type is path. If you see, the type is path, and it is defining the path here, and it is defining the path that under the Windows NT current version system root. System root is the Windows directory. So from the Windows directory, that means this is our Windows directory where our whole operating system files are there in this directory. This is our system root directory. So it says that system root directory, and in this directory the security level is unrestricted. That means we can run any application from there. Now why? Because when you enable software restriction policy, so whether you create a policy or not, it will use the default one, and it can block the other application. So it is allowing those other application from here, system root. Then it is also allowing the application from the program file directory. When we install any application in Windows 10, by default it will go to this program files. This is for 32-bit applications, this is for 64-bit applications. So all the application files will go to this directory. So it is also allowing that directories, that applications to run from this directory, program file. So these are two paths already there, which is allowing these applications to run the Windows properly, that is from the system Windows directory and also from program file directory. Now we can create our own rules from here also. This is additional rules. Then we have enforcement options here. Enforcement, when you go to enforcement, it says apply software restriction policy to the following. Now which application and how we want to apply the policies. By default it will apply software files except library files. Now remember, when you apply any application restriction on any software, then it will apply only on the software, it will not apply on the DLL file, dynamic link library files. Why it is not going to apply on the library file? Because single library file can be used by multiple different applications. So if suppose I am blocking one application with the DLL, then that DLL will not be available to other applications. So we block one application, but maybe the other applications will also not work. So by default it do what? Only block the application, will not block the DLL. If you want, then you want to block the DLLs also, then you have to select this option. It will block all the files of software, and this is the note it is saying here, that when you do this, then it can be a problem, and you can face a problem that other applications may not work, because these DLLs may be shared DLLs. Then apply software restriction policy to the following user: all users, or you can say all user except the local administrator. So local administrators will not apply, and all the other users the restriction policy will apply. Or you want to apply for all user. Default is all user. Then when applying software restriction policy, ignore certificate rules, enforce certificate rule, or ignore certificate rules. Now certificate rules we have not created. Certificate rules will check the signature, and for that we need a certificate to be downloaded. Now these certificate rules will negatively impact the performance of your machine. It will slow down your machine also, because whenever you try to open any application, it has to get the certificate from online source, and then it will allow you or deny you to run, and it can make your application, your Windows run slow. So by default it is ignoring it, it is not allowing it. You want, then you can change it. Then designated files will define that which files can be executable, which executable or script files can be blocked or restrict. If you want to remove some files, then you can select and remove. If you want to add some file extension, then you can add from here. So if you want to add some file, then you can add from here, or if you want to remove, then you can remove it from selecting and removing it. Then trusted publishers. This specify the trusted publisher, that is authenticate policy option, and define these policy settings. If you define this, it is not defined, but when you define, then allow all administrator and users to manage users' own trusted publishers. Trusted publisher, that means the developer of the application, and you can set allow only administrator to manage the trusted publisher, or all user to manage the trusted publishers. and it will make slow our machine. Now I want to create a policy to restrict this application to run. The application is here under this directory. Right now it is running, but I want to block this application. I want this application should not run. So we can create our rule here in additional rules, and we have option to create different type of rules. So first, if you want to create a new rule, so you can right click on the empty place, you can go to action, or you can right click on additional rule folder, and here you have these options. What do you want? You want to create a new certificate rule, that is signature rule. You want to create hash rule, you want to create path rule, or you want to create network zone rule. So I want to create path rule first. So path rule is there, the file is in the directory. So I'm going to create a path rule. Now here it is saying where is the path. So we can browse the path. That means we'll go to C drive, and this is the application path. Then what do you want to do? You want to disallow, you want to use the basic restriction, basic user restriction, or you want to just unrestrict it. So I'm going to disallow it. Then you can add the description also, like why you have done this, so that you can understand whenever you see the policy, you will know that why you have do this, why you have created this policy. Now I have created the policy for this, and this is the path policy. Now because I have created first time, so what I have to do, I have to reboot my system. I don't have to select the exe file. It is not that important. You just have to select the folder. Now because I have created the policy first time, then I have to reboot the system to apply the policy. So I'm going to reboot it now. So it is restarted, and I have logged in as the administrator. Now the machine is started. Now next time when you create or modify the policy, so you don't have to reboot again. You can just update the policy. Basically it updates automatically, but we can force to update also. If you just want to update right now, then we can do it also. Now let's see whether the policy is working or not. So I'll go to the directory and I'll try to run the application. So it is under C drive, and this is the directory, and this is the application. Now it says this app has been blocked by your system administrator. So it is not run. So it says contact your system administrator for more info, and you can do what? You can copy this error so that you can show the administrator that I have faced this error when I have tried to run this application. What should I do? Sometimes users do what? They don't understand the things. They don't know what is the problem. So this option is for those kind of users. So for those kind of users, they will do copy this error, and then when administrator come, they will show the application the error that okay, I faced this error. So administrator understand that what is the problem. So this application is not working because it has been blocked. But remember, we blocked the application by using the path route, and we selected this path, we selected this folder. Now if the user do what? If the user copies this application and put it into some other path, let's say I will put it on the desktop. Now it will try to run it from here, and you can see it is now running. Now why it is running here? Because we have created only the path rule. So path rule is only applying on that particular path. It is not applying here on this path. And that kind of, if you face this problem, then we do what? We create the hash rule. Now hash rule do what? It will generate the unique hash for this application and put it into the rule. So whenever anyone runs the application, so our machine, this SRB policy will match the hash, and if the hash matches, then it will block the application. Now whether you are running from any path, the hash will remain same. So whether you are running from that directory, you are running from desktop, you are running from anywhere else, the hash will remain same and application will be blocked. So this time I will create hash rule. So again I will go to seccall. Software restriction policy, additional rules. Now this is what I have created. I will delete this one, right click, delete. Now I will apply new rule, and this time I will apply hash rule. Now in this, it is saying that select the file which you want to allow or deny. Now this time you don't select the folder, this time we will select the file. So we'll browse it and we will select the file wherever from one location. You can select it from the one location, and it is going to be like apply for all. So I'm going to select it from here, and I'm selecting the application, and it is showing now here information about the application, that this is the application, this is the version, this is the name, it is Windows Calculator, this is the publisher. Now security level, what do you want? So I want to disallow it, and description you can make whatever you want, and now apply and OK. Now this time I don't want to restart the system. Actually it is going to update automatically. So whenever we create any policy, it will update automatically. Now here it is not showing any path because it is hash rule. So policies will update automatically. It will take a little time, or if you suppose you don't want to wait for that, then you can do what? You can force the policy to update. So for updating the policy forcefully, now not only this policy, in any policy you change here in this security settings, and you want to update the policy right now, then you will run the command gp update. So whenever you create any policy in group policy, whether it is local or domain, you can update it right now by using the gp update, and then you can use force option. Force option will do what? Forcefully try to update the policy. Now some policies you made in group policy which requires to log out the system, then you can mention here also log off. Now this will do what? If suppose some policy is required to log off your system, then it will log out also, and some policy requires to reboot the system, so we can mention this command also. That means if suppose the policy is required to reboot the machine, then it will reboot also. That means I am saying reboot if it is required, log out if it is required, but do the policy update forcefully. But the policy which we create does not require any logout or reboot right now. Computer policy updated has completed successfully. So it is successfully updated. If suppose one time it is not successfully updated, then you can do it 2 times. Now we will try whether it is working or not. So first I will try it from the path. Now it is not working. It was not working previously also when I created the path. Now hash, I have selected this file. I have not selected the file of the desktop. Now I will try to run it from here. Now again you can see it is also not running. I have selected the file from that folder, but this file is also not running because the same hash it has. This file has the same hash as that file in the desktop, in that directory. So whether I copy this file anywhere in the machine, still it will not able to run because it is having the same hash. So this is what the hash rule. So these are the rules which we can create. Now certificate rules can slow down your system. It requires to check the certificate every time you open the application, and it will have to check the application certificate. Now whether your application certificate is your local domain or your internet certificate server, but it will make your machine slow. It will make application slow. You can make the rule for the network zone also. We have different zones of network, so we can create the rule for different zones also. So this is our software restriction policies. And if suppose you want to delete the software restriction policy totally, then you can right click on it and you can say delete software restriction policy. So it will delete all the default policies also. Now again it is showing no software restriction policy is defined. Now next is App Locker. This App Locker is supported on system running Windows 7 and above. Previously before Windows 7 there was no App Locker. Now software restriction policy is supported on system running Windows Vista or earlier. It also supports in Windows NT, old versions of Windows. But Windows App Locker, it only supports after Windows 7. Now you can continue to use SRP for application control on your pre-Windows 7 computers, but use App Locker for computers running Windows Server 8, 2008 R2, Windows 7 and later. So we can still use software restriction policy, and also we can use App Locker in our latest versions of Windows 10. Just like you have seen in Windows 10, I have still right now applied the software restriction policy. Now App Locker can control Windows packed apps which is not available in SRP. Now this is the only difference we have, that we can control the Windows package app. This package app is used to install these universal apps, and this App Locker is only available in Windows 10 Enterprise Edition. Now this is also the point here, that this App Locker we can only use in Windows Enterprise version of Windows 10. If you are trying to use it on Windows 10, you can't do that. In Windows Pro also it will not work. It only works on Windows Enterprise version. Now App Locker can control the following file types: executable, that is exe, POM files, DLLs, then scripts like PowerShell script, Bash script, CMD script, JavaScript, VB script, then Windows installer files, MSI, MST, MSP, not exe. Exe is not Windows installer. Then packaged app installers, that AppX files. So for using the universal app file, installing the universal app, you have to have installer of AppX. Now App Locker maintains a separate rules collection for each of the 5 file types. App Locker supports 3 types of rules: file hash, and path rule, and publisher rule. Now path rule is same as our security software restriction policy path rule. Hash rule is also same as software restriction policy's hash rule. Now publisher rule is defining the publisher here, that we can define the publisher, that which publisher application can work and which publisher application will not work. But the problem is that this App Locker we can only use in Enterprise Edition of Windows 10. In Pro Edition, you can see the App Locker, you can configure the App Locker, but it will not apply. It will not apply, that means it will not effect. So for using the App Locker and creating the rules, I will show you how we can do that, but because we are using Windows 10 Pro, so it is not going to work there. We can use to configure, we can do configure everything, but it will not work there. Let's see this in our Windows 10. Now in Windows 10, you can go to again security policy here, where we have software restriction policy. Under the same security settings, we have application control policy. So when you click on application control policy, you see app locker policy here. And when you click on app locker policy, you will see this. Now because it works on Windows 10 Enterprise version, you can see what version we are having here. So basically we are using Windows 10 Pro Edition. So it is not Enterprise, but still it shows the setting and it allows us to do all the configuration there, but it will not apply, it will not work. Now for example, this application is running because we have deleted the previous software restriction policy. Now I will try to create the app locker policy to block this same application. So first, when you click the app locker, it will show you the information here about the getting started and configuration rule enforcement here, that you can configure the enforcement rule, that where it can be configured, when it can be enforced. So you can click here configure rule enforcement. So you can select the specify whether app locker rules are enforced for each rule collection, for executable, for Windows installer, for scripts, for packaged app. So you can select where you want to configure the rules execution enforcement. So for example, suppose I want to do it for executables, that exe files, so enforce rules or audit only. So whether you select enforcement or only audit. Audit means it will only do auditing, that means it will create logs that who's using which application, but it will not try to block those applications. Or enforcement means it will block those applications. You want to create the rule for installers, so you can select this also. You want to create the rules for the scripts, then you will select this. And if you want to create the rules for packaged app, then you can select this. And you can select whether you want to enforce it or not. Then here it is showing overview of these rules. Right now we are not having any rules. So you can see rules are 0 for executable, installer, script and packaged app. So there is no rules we have created. Enforcement configurations are rules are enforced. So rules will be enforced. Now for creating the rules, for configuring the app locker policy, we have all options here. Now I want to configure it for the executable. So I will click on this executable rules. Now it says there are no rules here, but we want to create the rules. So we will right click on this. So we have option to create new rules. Now there is one more option saying automatically generate the rules. So it will generate the automatic rules and create the default rules. This will create the default rules. Now when you create new rules, so it will also create the default rules because it meets the default rules. That means when you create any rules, so it needs to be create the default rule for the Windows directory and program file directory. Otherwise what happened, only your application which you mentioned here will work or not work, and those applications from program files will not work or Windows will not work. So this will create the default rules. So whether you create new rule first, it will give you option to create default rule, or you create the default rule first, then you create your rule. Let's say I want to create new rule first. So it opens the wizard to create the rule. This is the information about it, like before you continue, install the application you want to create the rule for this computer, backup your existing rules, review the app locker documentation. Now we'll go to next. Now it says what you want to allow or deny. So I want to deny. Now here we have extra option than the software restriction policy, that we can define which user we want to apply the policy. We can select the particular user for the local machine, or we can go for everyone. Right now I'm going for everyone. Then here we have three types of rules. So publisher rules, path rule, or file hash rule. Now if you go for publisher and you click on next, then it will ask here which publisher. So first it will select the application. So let's select the application. So I will select the application which I want to block. So again I am selecting this. Now when I select this, so this is the application and this is the information about the publisher. So publisher, product name, file name and version. Now here we can define how specific you want to go. Like this is the bar which says that all the things must be same. That means the publisher must be same, the product name must be same, the file name must be same, the file version must be same. Then this rule will be applied. Now if you want to go like this, if suppose I go here, then you see star here. That means what? The publisher must be similar, the product must be same, the file name must be same, but version can be any. So if the application is updated to the new version, then it will still apply the rule. Now you can go to more specific, more less specific. Then like you can say the publisher and product name and any file name and any version. You can go for only the publisher. That means I want to block the publisher only. That means only from this publisher, and any product name, any file name, any version. So you can define the level of publisher rule you want to apply, or you can just go for any publisher. And if we select path, then it will ask to provide the path here. So you can select the folder, or you can even select file directly, so that only that file will be blocked and the other files will remain unblocked. That means if I select the folder, so all the files from that folder will be blocked. So whether we have one application in that folder or many other application on that folder, so all the application can be blocked. If I select files, then it can be only for the file. So let's say I will go for, if I select the folder, so C drive, apps. It is giving here, like you can see after the folder it is mentioning star. That means all the other application of that folder will be blocked. So I'll go next. And if you don't want to go next, then you can still create with the default settings. Now it is asking for the exceptions. Exception, that means because I have selected the folder, so maybe in that folder we have other applications and I don't want to block those applications. So I can add those applications here which I don't want to block, and I can add by using the publisher option, or I want to add by the path, or I want to add by the file hash. So I can use to leave some application with this rule. I don't have any other, I have only one application. So I'll go with this, no exception. Then this is the name and this is the description. So you can mention the name for your rule, or you can mention optional description. I will go with the default and I will now create. Now it says the default rule currently not in the rule list for this rule. So rule connection. So when creating rules, it is recommended that you also create the default rules to ensure that important system files will be allowed to run. So because we are only creating the rule about one application, so other application which is coming from Windows or program file will not maybe not run. So that is why it is recommended to create the default rule. And it is giving me option here to create the default rule, yes or no. If I say no, then it will still create the rule, but it is not recommended. So it is recommended to create the default rule first, then you will create your rule, or otherwise it will ask you to create the default rule. So I will say yes. Now app logger policy could not be saved, use the error messages. Okay, this is some kind of problem here. I have clicked 2 times. Now we can see that default rules are here, which is allowing these Windows folder and program files and all files also for administrator. So for administrators every files will be allowed, and for everyone Windows folder files, system files will be allowed to run, and also files from program file folder will also allowed to run. This is the default rule which is required, and this is the rule which we created. Now we created the rule, and let's say this is the first time we created, so let's reboot to check whether it is applying or not. So because this is first time, I will reboot. Now I'm logging in. So the system is rebooted. Now let's see the application is working or not working. So it is under C drive, under this folder, and this is the application, and it is still working. Now why it is working here? Because this is Pro Edition, this is Windows Pro Edition. So we can create those rules, we can configure those rules, but it won't apply actually. It only works on Windows Enterprise versions. So we can see here how we can configure it, but we can't, it won't work. So this is software restriction policy, this is app locker, and now this is what executable rules. This is same as the rule we have in software restriction policy. Now what is new here is that we have option to block the packaged app. Packaged app, that means these universal apps which you see here in the tiles. So for those rules we create, first I will create the default rules, so it allows everything now. Then I will create new rule. Now this is for the packaged app, and this is for the universal apps. So before continuing, you should install the application package which you want to install, block or allow. Alternatively, know the location of the packaged app installer also, because you can block the installer also. Backup your files and review the app locker documentations. Next, now you want to allow or deny, you can same allow or deny. Then you can select the user which you want, like you can go for everyone or you can go for a specific user. Then next, now here it is asking you to use an installed package app as a reference or use a packaged app installer as a reference. So if you are having a package installed, if your software is installed, then you can select this. Or if your software is not installed, you want to make the rule for the installer, then you will select this rule, and then you will select the installer of this packaged app, and the installer is .appx for the packaged app. So now basically you will not have the packaged app installer, because the apps you will install will be installed directly from the store. So mostly you will not get the packaged app, installer for the packaged app, that is AppX. Very rare you will get it from outside the Windows store. So you will select the installed packaged apps. Now you have to select the app which you want to block. So when you select that, it opens this window where it shows all the packaged apps. You can see these are the packaged apps. So you can choose which you want, what you want to block or suppose allow. So from here you can select, like I want to go for I will go for this Windows Photos. So I select Windows Photos. Windows Photos is this app. So this is our Windows Photos, and right now it is working. It is to see your photos, arrange your photos in your desktop. So it is working. So I select that Windows Photos app and I select OK. Now it says here, it is showing here the option about the publisher, version and package name. So you can still manage the bar to go for the any version, or go for the any file name, or go for the any publisher, or you go for specific file and specific version. Then next, then here it is showing that whether you want to exempt some version or some publisher. So you can do that, like you don't want to add for every package or every publisher, so you can exempt some here from here. I don't want to exempt anyone. Then next, then this is the name for your rule. You can add the description also, and this is what it is created. So this is rule I created for blocking the Photos app. Now I can update the rule by using GP update option. I will run 2 times. And let's see whether it is blocking or not. And it is still working because it works only on Enterprise Edition. But we saw how we can configure it. So we created the package rule, we created executable rules, we created path rule, we can create hash rule, same as software restriction policy. We can create the publisher rule also. So this is how we can create the app locker rule. So this is the way we create app locker rule, by using the wizard. And when you try to execute those applications, you will see this error window that this app has been blocked by your system administrator. So this is our software restriction policy on Windows 10, and we have softwares from desktop applications to Windows Store applications. We can create software restriction policy to block these executables, installers, and we can create app locker policy to block the packaged app also, to manage the packaged app also.